It was supposed to be a normal dinner, until one sentence destroyed everything I trusted.
The evening began with the comfortable illusion that nothing could go wrong, the kind of calm that comes from repetition and routine. Soft music played in the background, and the table was set with care, every detail reflecting pride in a life that appeared successful and secure. Friends arrived laughing, carrying bottles and stories, filling the house with a warmth that felt earned over years of shared history. I moved through the room confidently, greeting everyone, believing I was hosting nothing more than another pleasant gathering. The conversation flowed easily at first, fueled by food, wine, and familiar jokes that required no effort to enjoy. I noticed nothing unusual, no warning signs, no cracks in the surface that might have prepared me for what was coming. When attention shifted toward the head of the table, I assumed it was for another toast or a playful comment meant to entertain. Instead, the tone changed subtly, like the air before a storm that no one wants to acknowledge. The words that followed landed slowly at first, almost politely before their meaning fully settled in the room. Laughter died mid-breath, forks paused in midair, and silence spread in waves that no one knew how to interrupt. I sat completely still, convinced I had misunderstood, waiting for a punchline that never arrived. But confidence radiated from the speaker, not regret, not shame, and certainly not hesitation. Details were shared casually, proudly even, as if betrayal were an achievement rather than a confession. Each sentence felt heavier than the last, pressing down until breathing required effort. I became aware of every eye shifting toward me, waiting for a reaction I could not yet produce. Shock does strange things to time, stretching seconds into something almost physical. I wanted to speak, to stop it, to rewind the moment, but disbelief held me in place. The table felt suddenly unfamiliar, as though I were sitting in someone else's home. When the final remark landed, it shattered the last illusion that this was accidental or impulsive. This was deliberate, calculated, and devastating. Movement finally returned to the room as chairs scraped and people stood awkwardly, unsure whether to intervene or escape. Apologies filled the air, unnecessary and powerless, while embarrassment clung to every surface. I remained seated long after everyone else had gone, surrounded by unfinished plates and broken assumptions. The quiet afterward was louder than the confession itself. When footsteps approached, I did not look up immediately, knowing that words would change nothing now. The attempt at an explanation came softly, fragile, as though volume might soften the truth. I listened without interrupting, not because I agreed, but because arguing would have meant pretending this could be fixed. Some lines, once crossed publicly, cannot be redrawn privately. Leaving the house felt automatic, driven by instinct rather than decision. The night air felt colder than it should have, sharp against skin already numb. Driving without a destination allowed thoughts to surface, unfiltered and relentless. Every memory replayed with new context, every overlooked detail now glaring. I realized how long denial had protected comfort at the cost of clarity. Trust, once broken so openly, leaves no space for negotiation. The days that followed were heavy with silence and separation. Shared spaces became neutral territory, stripped of intimacy and warmth. Conversations shrank to necessities, careful and distant. The absence of honesty proved more painful than conflict ever had. Sleep came in fragments, interrupted by scenes that refused to fade. Morning light brought no relief, only confirmation. Decisions formed quietly, grounded in self-preservation rather than anger. Revenge fantasies dissolved quickly, replaced by something colder and more effective. Preparation became the focus, steady and methodical. Emotion gave way to strategy. Documentation replaced argument. Evidence replaced hope. Support came from unexpected places, not loud but consistent. Strength returned slowly, built on resolve rather than reassurance. When the time came to act, it arrived without drama. Boundaries were drawn clearly, without cruelty or apology. The response was disbelief, then panic, then attempts at negotiation. Each phase confirmed the decision rather than challenging it. Public confidence collapsed once consequences appeared. Private regret arrived too late to matter. Life simplified abruptly, shedding luxury and illusion together. What remained was quieter but real. Work became grounding, and routine restored balance. Effort replaced entitlement. Nights grew calmer, no longer haunted by unanswered questions. Clarity proved more restful than comfort ever had. Encounters with the past felt distant, stripped of emotional power. Indifference replaced anger, and that shift marked true recovery. New connections formed carefully, without performance or pretension. Trust rebuilt itself slowly, brick by brick. The story others told was never fully accurate, but it no longer mattered. Reputation fades, self-respect endures. Occasionally, regret surfaced, not for the ending, but for the time lost avoiding it. Acceptance followed quickly, steady and mature. Growth revealed itself in restraint rather than reaction. Silence became strength instead of weakness. The life ahead felt uncertain but honest. That honesty mattered more than certainty ever had. Looking back, the moment that shattered everything also stripped away the illusion. Truth arrived brutally, but it arrived. What followed was not victory, but freedom, not triumph, but stability. Some lessons demand loss before they can be understood. Some endings are necessary, no matter how painful. Standing alone no longer felt like failure. It felt like ownership. And in that quiet ownership, I understood that dignity reclaimed is the greatest closure of all. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider subscribing.